Our story starts in a small, quaint village called Ebdale, on the outskirts of Sheffield in Yorkshire, at the Church of St Mary's in the heart of the village, with young pastor in training Christopher Steele. Christopher lived in the village with his sister Meredith, and they were both devoted to the church. Now, Christopher was coming towards the end of his 5-year formation, but before he could complete his training to become a full-time priest, he had to go on one final placement. Now, having never left Yorkshire, let alone England before, Christopher was heading to Madrid in Spain to finish his course. And as his time at the Church of the Holy Cross was coming to an end, Christopher was walking to church one morning when he noticed a baby's Moses basket lying on the doorstep of the church. As he peeked inside, he saw a baby boy fast asleep and as peaceful as could be. He looked like a little angel. Inside the basket was a note from the baby's mother saying his name was Sebastian and that she couldn't look after him anymore and that she prayed the church would help. Christopher felt a calling from above like never before, and the sun shone down upon him and that baby in the basket. He knew he had to help this poor child. So with special permission from the church, Christopher decided to adopt baby Sebastian and give him his family name of Steele. He brought Sebastian home to Yorkshire, something his sister Meredith was overjoyed with, as she could have no children of her own. The brother and sister duo were determined to give the boy the best Catholic upbringing possible. As the next few years passed and young Sebastian became a boy, his adopted auntie and uncle, as they called themselves, tried their best to teach him the ways of the church. The thing was, Sebastian had zero interest in anything Catholic or religious, and in fact had always questioned if it was even real. This had caused a lot of friction between the family, and Sebastian had started to become somewhat of a teenage rebel. You see, Sebastian may have been troubled. He had always felt different and out of place, but the one place he felt at home was on the football pitch. He absolutely loved playing football at school, and he loved Sheffield Wednesday even more. He was a die-hard Owls fan, and even though his auntie and uncle forbid him from going to the games, he would sneak out and stand outside Hillsborough on match days, listening to the roar of the crowd and dreaming about stepping on that hollow turf himself. The only place in the world he felt deserved the title of church was Hillsborough. It was holy to him. One day he said to himself, I will play for Wednesday. Now fast forward a good few years and Sebastian's dreams had come true. He had worked hard to get into the Wednesday Academy and was showing promise in becoming a very talented centre-half. In 1988, he'd been given his debut by the then manager Howard Wilkinson, who Sebastian really looked up to. But after the manager left to join Leeds United later that year, things started to go a little downhill without his mentor's guidance. And in 1990, after one too many booze-fueled nights out, Sheffield Wednesday decided to not renew his contract. This destroyed Sebastian and would be the start of a troubled path for him. It won't be long though before his former manager and mentor snapped him up on a free transfer for Leeds United, where he would have a good few successful years. That was until 1994, when the now England international got into a fight with some fans outside Ellen Road. Even his mentor and idol, Howard Wilkinson, had come to the end of the road with this talented but troubled star, and he was sold to AC Milan in Italy for £3 million. This was a huge move for Sebastian Steele, but in only his third game at the San Siro, he suffered a serious injury that kept him out for the rest of the season, an injury that would trouble him for the rest of his career. While he was recovering, he spiraled out of control. Too many nights out with way too many women. He developed an addiction to painkillers and gambling and was spending his money faster than it was coming in. After his second season in Milan, they decided to sell him to Fiorentina, where he stayed for only one season before being shipped off to Marseille in France, again for only one season due to him being arrested for attacking a police officer. Marseille moved the talented but troubled defender to Valencia in Spain, where he again aggravated his injury and spent more time in the arms of beautiful women or behind bars than he did on the pitch. The now journeyman player was again sold, this time back to Italy and Lazio, Rome, where he did play very well and consistently for 2 whole seasons before his drug use and party lifestyle became too much for the club to handle. With no club and no money, Sebastian headed home to Sheffield in the hope that a club in England would give him another chance. And even though it hurt him deep into his soul, the only club to put an offer on the table was Sheffield United, his beloved Wednesday's arch rivals. It was now 2002 and the 32-year-old was in the last chance saloon. The Blades' current manager Neil Warnock knew he was troubled and spent more time on the front pages of the paper than the back, but also recognised that he was still a top level player and that in reality should still be playing for one of Europe's elite clubs, not Sheffield United. And because of Sebastian's performances on the pitch, Warnock looked past the star's troubled private life, even facilitating it sometimes to keep his starman happy. But on one fateful day in 2004, at the age of 34, Sebastian Steele collapsed in training. He was rushed to hospital but pronounced dead on arrival from heart and liver failure. His lifestyle had finally caught up with him. Now, 1 year earlier, on a night out in Sheffield, Sebastian had met a young, local, beautiful girl named Paige Matthews. It was a whirlwind romance, like all of Sebastian's previous flings, but Paige had fallen pregnant. News that once Sebastian heard had made him cut all ties with her and run for the hills, leaving her to go through the pregnancy all on her own. Not long after, Paige gave birth to a baby boy that she decided to call Solomon after her grandfather. And even though Solomon's father was not around, she decided to give him his father's surname, Steele, in the hope it would bring his father into his life one day. But as we know, that would never happen, as Sebastian died only a few weeks before Solomon was born. So Solomon Steele, or Sol as he was called by his friends and family, grew up alone with his mother on a tough council estate in Sheffield. Sol had always shown signs that he had inherited his father's footballing skill, and a trained eye would say that he was probably better than his father at the same age. But unlike Sebastian, Sol had never dreamed about becoming a footballer. Sol had always been a highly intelligent child and had dreams of becoming a history professor. He would read history books endlessly, day after day, teaching himself as much as he could. In fact, he loved history so much, he was very different than most of his friends at school. They were either Wednesday fans or United fans. But being a lover of history, Sol had always had a soft spot for the world's oldest active club, Sheffield FC, founded in 1857. Sol would go to matches from time to time, as he still loved to play and watch football when he wasn't studying, that is. Now, even though he was devoted to his studies, his talent on the school football pitch was hard to ignore, and Sol was attracting interest from the city's two big clubs. Both Wednesday and United had sent scouts to not only watch him, but to offer him deals at their academies. The thing with Sol was he had no interest in becoming a professional player, and he definitely had no interest in signing for either of these two clubs. He had never known his father, and he knew he wasn't a saint, but he held a grudge against both clubs for their part in Sebastian's downfall. If Wednesday had put their arm around his dad and nurtured him through his troubles, maybe he would have stayed on a better path, as being released from Wednesday had broken his father's heart and changed him forever. And he felt United had helped speed up his father's demise at the end of his career and life by not helping him with his drug and alcohol problems. So Sol turned them both down and stated he would never ever play for either club. He wanted to play some form of football, but he also wanted to go to university and get his degree in history. So he offered his services to the club he loved the most, Sheffield FC. As long as he had a little pocket money to help pay for his university tuition, he didn't care. History was his true passion. Football would just be for fun at the weekends. So what will happen to Sol in his football career? The highly talented youngster with bags of potential will be playing in the English 8th tier, and with dreams of becoming a history professor rather than a player. What kind of career will he have? Well, we will find out what happens to Solomon in the story Steel City. Hello and welcome to Steel City, another Football Manager FM23 story. As always, thanks for joining me. I'm Bood, and your view is massive. I love your view. It's the most important thing, but if you feel generous, hit that thumbs up, get involved in the comments, subscribe if you're new. Feel free to join the family and hit that bell, and you'll never miss anything I do just like this. One I've really enjoyed putting together. The story itself is mainly about the father, but I'm hoping it lays the foundation for Solomon to show you who he becomes and why he makes the choices he makes. And here we are in Sheffield, but not with Wednesday, not United. No, we are with the oldest active football club recognised by FIFA in the world, Sheffield FC, founded in 1857. They used to play by the Sheffield rules. Apparently it took them forever to join the rest of the country. I think they were amateur for a long time, but apparently on here they were semi-professional, and they play their football in the 8th tier. Now, I downloaded all 15 tiers, and Christ, I will say this to you, if you've seen it come on Steam and you think, oh god, I like that, I've got a good computer, and it's alright once it's on, but I've never had a game take so long to load up the database. It's insane. But don't forget, this is the Boodiverse, so everything I've created so far and all my stories, which if you haven't seen, I'll put a playlist link down below in the description, go and check them out, is building upon each other. And we have another centre half story today. Solomon Steele. Solomon Steele, one of my favourite names I've ever made. One of my best friend's son is called Solomon. We all call him Sol. So yeah, I've gone for that. And the Steel thing is a reference to Sheffield, the Steel City. So let's get into it. And here is Solomon Steele. He's 18 years old. He's about to go off to university for the next 4 years to do his history degree. I have no idea how long it actually takes to do a history degree. But yeah, so he's starting at a very low level. Now he's got a good potential of 170. He's the lowest potential player I've made so far on the story series this year. He's got no ambition, no adaptability, no real drive to have a football career. And he's starting really low. And to make him stay here and stick it at university, I've locked him in for 4 years at Sheffield. So will he develop at this level? Are we going to have like an average career, which would be interesting? It's not always fun when they jump to a massive team or, you know, they go to one club and stay. I quite like it when they go on an adventure, a different kind of adventure. And Solomon's is a bit 50-50. It's worrying at times for me as a creator, thinking, shit, it's pretty poop. And then it can get good. It gets really good, actually, for me. But as you can see, he's a very good player. He's got all the potential his dad had, but he's nothing like his father. He never knew his dad. His mother decided to call him Solomon Steele while he was still in the womb. Dad has died, kept the name, and he's got the skill. But he's got different mentals than his father would have ever had. Can he have a different career? So he's only on £100 a week. Probably a lot, really, I reckon, for Sheffield FC. I have no idea. But of course, he's got university within the story, and that's what he's going to be doing. He's playing part-time for Sheffield FC. Now, you might have noticed as well, he has a future transfer in place. Now, he's not Billy Big Bollocks, right? And I don't know what he's going to look like in 4 years. Well, I might do. But when he comes out of university, I want him to stay at Sheffield for them 4 years. And then he's going to go on a spiritual journey because he knows his father was Spanish, really, even though he's adopted. So he's half Spanish. So he's going on a spiritual journey. So he's got a deal in place with Real Oviedo, a team I like a lot, a team I've wanted to do something with personally for a while, and I might do a build series with them maybe in the future. Might even do it soon, to be fair. Finish off FM23. I've always wanted to. So he's going to go to Spain, spiritual journey, find his roots, maybe find his ancestors. I think the second tier, it might be, of Spanish football. So that'll be a little different for him. So yeah, the 8th tier. 8th. I even got all the logos for some of the teams at this level. I haven't even looked down. Now, I did originally load them all up, but then think, Christ, this is killing me. And because I'm building a database, it's too much. So I trimmed it down to the 8th, and there's lots of leagues within leagues, and I'm not going to go through them all. And maybe you're from one of these places that are in the Northern Premier League Division 1 East, and I was interested to see, because he's a good player really, can he help him while he's here for those 4 years? Well, let's jump forward to when he joins Real Oviedo. And here we are with Real Oviedo on the 2nd of July 2026 to help with the simulation process. I don't think the league was on, but it's going to be switching on any minute. So right now at this moment I can't show you the league, but great kits. I would love that home kit, which I'm guessing is going to be last season's. I'm going to have to try and find that. That is beautiful. And that third kit, I am all over that. I need to get me some Real Oviedo stuff, don't I? Definitely. But it's a great club. You probably know the history, and they'd be a great team to do a series with, I think. And do you know what? I think I might. I need a little series to wrap up FM23. And I've got one club I started in a country I've never been to. But I think I might save that for FM24. I might do this, you know. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see one of my little rebuilds, or builds as I call them now, with Real Oviedo? Let me know. So maybe because the league's not going to be switched on for another week or so, he's been put in the under-19s, but he won't be staying there, I don't think. Looking at his attributes, it looks like he's improved, but he's lacking, isn't he? He is lacking. He's not really got a lot of speed, his teamwork, his work rate, you know, because his art's not really in it. He's not really composed. He's not aggressive. He's pretty chill. Do you know what I mean? He's got his degree now, but he thought, do you know what? I'm going to go to Spain, play some football, and maybe see where this road can take me before I become a history professor. I mean, even his technicals are alright. He's decent at tackling and so on. He should do well. And he did do well for Sheffield in the 4 seasons he played, and he did look like finally in his last season they got promoted. Look at that, to the Northern Premier League Premier Division, where he played 1 season. He played fantastic. He looked like he got better. Obviously, when he upped to level, he upped his game time, and his average rating still stayed top notch. So from this moment on, that is my involvement in his career done. No more future transfers in place. What will be, and we'll see what the game gives us. Now, we didn't look at his information, so we'll have a quick look while we're here. And of course, I made him half Spanish. He's been capped by the England under-19s, which is pretty good. He's from Sheffield, of course. Speak Spanish because, you know, he learned it. He's very clever. He knew he was half Spanish growing up, so he taught it himself freaking genius, and he's a Sheffield supporter. And you might have noticed his long-term plans, because of the story, he will never, no offence to some of my friends, Rich, you know who you are, he will never play for United, and he will never play for Wednesday. It's the 1st of June 2028, and he's had 2 seasons at Real Oviedo, but you might notice he is wanted, and he is about to make a move very, very soon. Blackburn, Wolves, and I can't say, is it Elche? That's what I'm going to say. He definitely moves to one of them. Will he come home to England, or will he stay in Spain? We'll find out. But he's been playing. His first season in La Liga 2, he got 25 games, and he got 41 games this year in La Liga 2. His average rating isn't hitting a 7. But I was wondering, is he really going to get any better now? Them 4 years he was at uni, if he was at another club, a bigger club, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, he would have been really developing, and maybe he missed something there. Will it affect him later on? On his first season, he helped Real Oviedo finish 11th, and they've got into the playoffs. So before he goes, there might be a chance they get promoted, but he will be going. I was quite shocked by this. I thought, he'd go back to England. I really did. But he went to Elche. He's going to be in La Liga. He's now worth, apparently, 23 million, 24 years old. Not got a cap yet, but does anyone even know who he is? I made sure his reputation was the worst ever. But what I wanted to know, and you might want to know, did he help Real Oviedo get in La Liga? Well, he did his very, very best. They got to the playoff final. They got beat off Girona. So that's disappointing. It'd been nice. Well, if we jump forward 2 more years to the 1st of June 2030, he's still at Elche, but things are getting good for our young soul, because he's played in La Liga for 2 years. He's now wanted. He's also just been called up to the pre-World Cup squad. He's going to end up playing for England, which I didn't know if he would, but I was worried, because you don't know these things about his career development, losing them big 4 years, playing at such a low level. And then he was alright at Real Oviedo, but getting to a top flight league, one of the biggest in the world, has really helped him. I think he's really kicked on, made the England squad, and he's wanted again, and he is going to be making a move. He's turned into a bit of a Billy Buck from the Gypsy King. I mean, this is the England squad, and apparently he's in it. There he is, Solomon Steele, who was the last centre-halves. Really? Right, well, he's got a good chance of getting in that team. So his move to Elche was for 6.25 million. Good amount. First fee anyone's ever spent on him. And his average ratings increased. He's hitting them 7s, and his second year looks like it was much better. In his first season, though, they nearly went back down, finishes 17th. But then last season, while he's improved, so as a team, they finished 11th. So then, we're going to jump forward, because you might notice again, he is wanted by quite a few teams from around Europe, Germany, Italy, and England, right? But we have to have the World Cup first. And then he makes another move to Borussia Dortmund. I was buzzing with this, because they're a fantastic team. But it's not the Borefest of a Bayern or a PSG or a Man City. He's gone to Borussia Dortmund. He's gone to Germany. For someone who's not adaptable and no ambition or anything, he's not doing bad, and he has really, really improved, and he is an elite centre-back. You'll notice he's got 4 caps. Come on. Got knocked out by Denmark in the quarterfinals. Come on, that's embarrassing. He didn't even play, did he? But £15 million? That's a bargain. A bargain. What can he do while he's in Germany? Can he help Dortmund topple Bayern Munich? Well then, if we jump forward another 2 years, it's now the 1st of June 2032. You'll see he's still at Dortmund. He is wanted again. He's with the England squad. He's now got 21 caps, and he's definitely improved as a player. And he's taking a leaf out of Billy Buck, the Gypsy King's book, because he had 4 years at Sheffield, and then he had 2 years at Real Oviedo, 2 years at Elche, and 2 years at Dortmund. And again, he's going to make a move, but it's after the Euros. So he's off to another tournament. Can he do better? Can he get in the team? First of all, let's see how he's done while he's been playing, and he's getting better, innit? I like it, because I was worried, like I said, locking him in at Sheffield, and he went to Real Oviedo and Elche, and that would have been quite cool if he'd have gone to some random teams and floated around. I don't always want it to be like going to superstar teams, but when you make these stories about great young players, they usually do. And it still might happen for him later in his career. Might happen next, you never know. But I've really enjoyed his journey so far. Although for Dortmund, they've not been able to topple Bayern. They finished runner-up by miles And then last season took a step back, which is unfortunate. Borefest, innit? Whenever I do a Bundesliga save, it takes you years, but you can beat them. You can top up Bayern eventually. But if we jump forward now, we'll see England got knocked out by Spain in the second round of the Euros. Although he did play, he is an England regular now, which is fantastic. I made it available so he could play for either. Part of me was hoping he'd maybe choose Spain. He spent a long time there, 4 years, didn't he, early in his career. But after these Euros, he makes a big move. And a move I was buzzing with. There's two clubs that I've always avoided on these for me. One is Wakefield Wolves. I'm dying for one of my characters to be signed by a club I've made in a previous story. He doesn't join Wakefield Wolves. Now, if you know me very well, you'll know why I'm so happy about the move he makes. Yep, Solomon Steele has made his big move to the biggest club in the world, Manchester United. I'll get some grief for that in the comments, but I don't care. They always go to Liverpool, Chelsea, or City, or PSG, or someone like that. Solomon Steele has signed for Manchester freaking United. Is he going to play though? We'll see. Could this be the best years of his career? Maybe. But £80 million. I never thought he'd have a fee in him like that. Like I said, I was a bit, not worried, but I just felt he was going to go down a different path because of his lack of ambition, lack of adaptability. But here he is at 28 years old, probably going to be hitting his peak years over the next 4 to 5 years in the Premier League with Manchester United. Ruud van Nistelrooy's Manchester United. It's like a dream come true for me. He's my favourite striker of all time. Love Ruud. As you can see, United have done better than they're going to do in real life. Let's be completely honest. I mean, that's the dream, innit? But that was Erik ten Hag. He left. Ruud's come in, and maybe Ruud can steer the ship the right way. Here we are now, 4 years later. It's 2036, and Solomon Steele, or Sol as we all like to call him, don't we? He's 32 years old, 66 caps, 2 goals, and he's still at Man U, 4 years into his Manchester United career. Now, at the end, we'll look at his biography and see what he's won, if he's won anything. But I was happy with this. But you know, at 32, is he going to spend the rest of his career at Manchester United? Or will he have a little trip somewhere else? So he's already thinking about doing his coaching badges to get into coaching. We'll see if that happens. But we're going to jump forward now to the day before he retires. Who does he retire with? Manchester United, yeah. This is the last day he will be a player. He's going to retire tomorrow on the 23rd. It's now the 22nd. He stayed forever. Now, I was buzzing with it because of United when I saw that, because they never tend to go to United. But I was kind of hoping he'd go somewhere for the last few years. But you can't unless you can't do it though. You can't predict anything. You don't know how it's going to go. It's always good to see. I like the natural flow of the career, depending on who they are. And he surprised me. He surprised me, to be fair, that, you know, he's played for some great clubs. He had a slow build-up in his career. Got to someone like Dortmund, then got to Manchester United, spent a long time at Manchester United, nearly a decade. I think he signed when he was 28, I think. And he's had a great career, earned an absolute fortune, 109 caps, 2 goals, what a player. And here we can see his United career. Played a lot. I mean, games have obviously tailed off a little bit over the last few years as he got into his mid-30s, but he's still contributing. All his average ratings over a 7. He was fantastic. He was really, really good. So I'm really proud of the kid. Better than his father. Much better career. Probably earned more money. Probably saved every single penny. Bought his mum a lovely house in, I don't know, Wilmslow, Cheshire, or somewhere like that. It's now the 1st of July 2041, and he has retired, but it was a bit strange, and I don't think I've ever seen this. So you saw before, it said, you might have noticed it on the screen, retiring on the 23rd, and we were on the 22nd. So a holiday to the 23rd, and he finished at United. His contracts hadn't been up. He'd got released, but he'd stayed a player, right? Just a free agent player. He was still elite, right? But it had changed the description. It was saying considering what to do with his football career, like he'd had a moment, like he was going, ooh, and I was quite excited. I thought, he's not done here. Someone's going to snap him up. I'll just jump forward to July and see. And this is what I've got. So anyway, feel free to pause it, have a look at some of the stuff he won. But he won a lot with Manchester United. An absolute ton. Champions League, Premier Leagues, Carabao Cups, FA Cups. He helped turn that club around, get them back on track with Ruud van Nistelrooy as the manager. And rude. Legend. Is still the manager. I'd have that one day. I think he'd be awesome. Favoured personnel, this is the best bit. Solomon Steele. You might also notice Ross McBride. Yeah, Ross from the Backstreet Boys, a little goalkeeper. In this little universe, he didn't go to Newcastle, he went to Manchester United. He was United's goalkeeper. He also made the icon list in them 4 seasons for Sheffield FC, his beloved Sheffield FC. And after retirement, even though he is a multi-millionaire, Solomon Steele became a history professor at a university somewhere in the United States of America. So good luck to Sol in his career. And thank you very much, as always, for watching one of my stories. I really do enjoy putting them together. They are hard, but it is fun. It gets my brain firing, as silly as they are. I do hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for your view. But if you do feel generous enough today, you're in a good mood, I know you are, you're a beautiful person, hit the thumbs up, get involved in the comments. I will get back to all my comments eventually. Subscribe if you're new, hit that bell. You'll never, ever miss anything I do. Now, I do have another story. I'm nowhere near even starting it yet. I've got a framework in my mind. That might be out. I want to do a few more Playing to the Graves with a team, maybe, or a group of players. So there will be more content coming soon. And I might do a Real Oviedo series. I really want to know, actually. If you're one of my hardcore subscribers and you watch everything I do from beginning to end, let me know what you think. Real Oviedo, building Real Oviedo. Can we get into La Liga? I think that'd be quite exciting. Might look for a kit online. Anyway, stay happy, stay safe. I'm Bood, and I love you long time. And I'll see you next time, won't I? Don't go missing. Bye.